This is Kevin Mint with Outside the Games. We welcome you to our show this evening. We have a special guest. Yes, it is the first time for Outside the Games to have a female student athlete present. I have Allanah Cutler. Allanah, thank you so much for being on our show.
Thank you for having me.
Nice to have you. She is a class of 2019 volleyball student athlete. She did play soccer at one time, but her sport is volleyball. She is a student athlete and very strong at that. We wanted to talk to you real quickly, Allanah, about, on the show we talk about family life and the sport. And in this case, the sport being volleyball. Let's first of all talk about family. And really, can you define for me what family means to you when you hear the word family?
I hear everything. Family is everything to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Means a lot.
Everything.
Yeah. And mom and dad, so they both play certain roles in your life. Mm-hmm. And tell me a little bit about as far as how they impact your lives individually.
Okay. My mom is definitely my rock. She is the person that I know that since I came here, she's always been the person who's my hero. There when I need her. She corrects me when I need it. When I need the support, she's always there. My dad is the same way, don't get me wrong, but just being as my mom is definitely there 24/7 all the time. My dad is the same way. He's my other half, my rock as well, but he plays more of the sports role of it. He
it's kind of like a balance, right?
Yeah.
That they play.
Yeah.
Because one is your rock and the mother, but the other one's a rock, but it's more so from a sports aspect of it, right?
Yeah, my mom's that one to make sure that we all do our homework before we go to practice that we get certain things done before we go to bed and stuff like that. And she's just a mom, and she goes above and beyond and does amazing.
Tell me one thing that your dad does for you, though, when it comes to the sport itself.
He always...
Pretty competitive, right?
We're all very competitive.
Yeah.
He makes sure that me and my sister are always one step ahead of our competition, in the sense that we always have a trainer. We always have workouts. We have camps we go to stay one step ahead of the game. And his quote is always, "You always stay ready, so you don't have to get ready."
Oh, wow.
And he definitely holds true to that.
Well, that's a good quote. That's a good quote. Tell me a time in your life, though, where you felt the impact from each one. You have an example? Definitely
when I was coming out of my injury, because I fractured my tibia last year. Yeah. And coming out of it, I got cleared in July, and my dad already had a trainer set up for me. We already had everything going.
Didn't waste any time.
None.
Right.
None. And my mom was always that one who, in the same sense, she was ready for me to work out, but she was always that one to, okay, well, we need to go to the pool so that you can swim, and we need to do this. And she put me on an eating diet, a regimen, so that I stayed healthy, and I made sure to get myself right for season. So definitely the two polar opposites, but they both played an active role in
any sports injury. Yeah, any sports injury to an athlete is just devastating, isn't it? And the thing about it, there's a kind of a sports psychology to it. It's almost like this feeling of, and I speak from experiences dealing with a sports injury, your confidence level, it's just different when you try to come back and play. Isn't that true?
Yeah. My first few games, I was not as confident as I would have liked to be. Yeah. But definitely got back up there, but the first few games were rough.
Right. Is it that feeling of like, oh my gosh, it could fracture again?
Yeah.
Was it kind of that thing? Or what
it's that combined with, I don't think I'll be the same.
Play the same?
Yeah.
At the same level, right?
Yeah.
Talking about mentorship is really important. You talk, Allanah, sometimes in our lives we have challenges, adversities that we face, and we know, you've explained it from the parental aspect, how they are there for you. But there are those that are outside of that, sometimes that play that mentorship role to guide you and help you out with those times. Tell me who your mentors are and why.
My number one mentor is definitely my god sister. Her name is Alexis McDonald.
Okay.
She actually played volleyball. She played at Long Beach Poly, and she ended up going to UW for volleyball.
Okay.
So she definitely understands the sport of volleyball, and she understands me. She's been around me since I was born, obviously. So she knows me as a person, she knows me as a player, and she's always there to lift me up, to check me when I'm wrong. Kind of the same thing as my mom, but it's always a little bit different. Yeah. And it's a little bit different being as she's my god sister. She actually played a big role in helping me decide what college I wanted to go to and ensuring that I made the right decision.
She's been there before in something like that.
Yeah.
And it's not to say the parents don't know,
right,
but it's just a different, it's kind of an, somebody different that's gone through something different, right?
Right.
Yeah. Another mentor that you could think of right now?
Yeah. My current coach, Rodrigo Gill, is definitely another one. He is amazing. I think that he's probably one of my favorite coaches. He's not lacking in confidence. I see a lot of parallels between me and him. He's not lacking in confidence at all. But he's just an amazing coach, and he has so much knowledge and wisdom, and he's so humble in his walk, and it makes me want to work hard and to be the way that he is, as far as a player. Even though he doesn't play anymore, you can totally tell that he was that player.
Still competitive.
Very.
Right? I mean,
very.
like he could go play.
Oh, he still hops in and plays with us in practice.
Oh, I bet.
It's hilarious.
He pushes you though.
100%.
Is that something?
Yes.
Give me an example of how coach pushed you as a mentor.
We'll start with, he had me do a 3-minute plank before practice.
Wow.
Combined with 200 squats, and then my team and we all had to do this, and then we had to do a set of suicides in under 15 seconds.
I know suicides.
So it was interesting. And then, he pushes us physically to up our mental game. So after doing all that, we had to all go out and play against each other and play to our highest ability. So
yeah, we that hits on something next with you is in regards to student athlete challenges. Let's talk a little bit, freshman year. I mean, because you've been all 4 years at Long Beach Poly.
Right.
Your freshman year, could you remember your freshman year? I mean, it's gone by quick.
Yes, but I still remember it like it was yesterday.
You still remember like it was yesterday. Freshman year, tell me one student athlete challenge you had to face in your freshman year. Do you remember?
Definitely, I would say just the whole atmosphere. Transferring from a small middle school that I went to this big school that has 4,000 plus students, I was lost going to all of my classes on the first day of school, and then...
Isn't that crazy? It's like I'm trying to find my class.
Going to volleyball practice after until 5, and then going to soccer practice, and it was just a different vibe and a different regimen that I had to get used to.
Yeah. And even if that, you have to... They changed. The classes change and stuff like that. Tell me, what's one of your favorite classes right now that you're taking?
Right now, I'm taking AP Literature, and that's actually probably my favorite class.
Really? Mm-hmm. Yeah. What is your favorite thing that you're learning in there?
We just finished reading about the Kite Runner, and that's...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we learned a lot about that book and parallels to social inequalities and social status. And that also ties into history because I'm a history geek, so I got to learn about...
I've talked to some student athletes that are into history. You're one of those, right? Mm-hmm. You like history.
I love it, yeah. Could talk to you about World War I for days and stuff like that. We won't talk about it, but yeah.
Is there a future history teacher in Allanah?
No.
It's just ask me questions and I'll tell you what they are or what the answers are, but we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. What is your least favorite class, would you say?
Definitely science.
Yeah.
I took chemistry last year, and that was not it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still passed.
Did you know that like right off the bat when you took it?
Yeah, because I've never really been a science geek.
Oh, okay.
Not it.
Yeah. Now, in class, a lot of times we ask the student athletes, do they sit in the front or the back? I learned that you sit wherever. Mm-hmm. It doesn't really matter. I mean, there's different classes you have, and you just sit in a different spot. Right?
Yeah.
But let's nail this one down. When it comes to a relationship with your teacher, how important do you think that relationship is with your teacher being a student athlete?
It's very important because, with your schedules, you need them to be on the same page with you, and you need them to understand where you're coming from. So if you're a good student, in my opinion, if you're a good student and you do your work, then I think maintaining that relationship is going to be easy, I guess.
Yeah.
So when you are gone for tournaments and games and stuff like that, they're pretty flexible and lenient. So I would say it's definitely very important.
We've asked the student athletes this question a couple times is, What qualities do you think in a teacher are important for you to be a successful student?
The number one thing on my list is definitely that you have to have good communication and you have to be approachable.
Okay.
You know, there's going to be subjects where people aren't going to understand them, and I've had teachers who they just do their job and they sit down at their computer. And I also have teachers who they do their job and they see that kids don't get it and they can feel it, and they work double overtime to make sure that their students understand it, and that is definitely very important in helping a student succeed in their class.
Right. No, that's huge. Now, what do you think it from another perspective is what's helpful for a teacher? What qualities in a student athlete do you need to have for you to be a good student to the teacher?
I would say they have to know that you care. You know, you can't be in class not focused, not paying attention, because, you know, then the test comes or the quizzes come and you're confused and they don't think you care. So I think that you have to always be on your A game and pay attention, so that makes it a little bit easier for them to understand where you're coming from and understand you.
Right.
So.
That's important. Tell me a time that you had with a teacher. Maybe it was a rough start. Did you have anyone like that where it was a rough start and then you had to develop, you had to kind of get to know them a little bit more?
My chemistry teacher. Yeah, because he's a good person. I love him as a person.
Sure.
Yeah, but as a teacher, I sometimes just saw him as a person who kind of operated just kind of as a robot. He would do his work, and if a student would approach him and ask him for help, then he would help them. I wouldn't see him seeking to help others, as I think a teacher should. So, but by the end of our year, he and we grew very fond of each other, and when I went away on my tournaments and I would come back, he was flexible with me and he understood me.
Great.
Which was good, yeah. So that also.
I mean, a student athlete needs that. They need flexibility.
Right. You can't pass your class without that, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
But definitely having that relationship grow was good.
That was important. Yeah. For you, I think the thing was too is that the growth that you've had from freshman year now to your senior year. Mm-hmm. Tell me one quality that you had a hard time with. A lot of times student athletes have a hard time with, let's say, time management, right? And they try to figure out how to get better at it. What was one quality for you that was really hard to get, that you had a hard time at first, and you've kind of gotten better at it?
Time management, probably.
Did you say that?
Yeah.
In what way?
I've been good. I'm usually good about doing my homework and stuff and making sure that homework is done beforehand, but procrastination can be serious.
I knew that was coming.
A serious issue, yeah.
There's time. They kind of work somewhat together.
They do. They go hand in hand.
Really, because the time management is like, I got this to do, or I'm going to find something else to do, or I can put this off. Again, leads to procrastination.
Yeah,
right?
And then you're staying up 2:30 when you get home. When I get off a plane, I'll never forget. I stayed up until 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning doing homework that I could have done when I was in the hotel.
Wow.
And yeah.
If you're just joining us, this is Allanah Cutler. She's a class of 2019 volleyball player for Long Beach Polytechnic High School. So she's excited, and yeah. So let's dive into a little bit of, what have you noticed? There's sometimes you have an eye on a student athlete that may be struggling in some way. What could you suggest to that student athlete that, say, is struggling in the classroom? What could be the number one thing that could be very helpful for them?
Don't be afraid to ask for help, because you never know what you're expressing interest or the fact that you need help. You never know what that's going to tell your teacher. You never know if they're going to be a little bit lenient with you when, you need an extension on your homework or your project. You never know if you need them to help you out on a test or something. You never know what other doors it could open. So I would definitely say don't be afraid to ask for help if you're struggling.
And in Long Beach Poly, the teachers are pretty supportive of the student athletes. Do you feel that?
Yes.
Yeah?
Because there's so many of us that they all know the game. So
yeah, right. Well, let's talk a little bit about your season, okay? At Long Beach Poly. Now you are a 3-year letterman, varsity letterman, for volleyball, sophomore year, right? Tell me how. Now you started playing soccer. That was kind of like something you enjoyed to play, but the passion was really deep rooted in volleyball. There was something about it that you really loved about it. Right. What was it? What was it that really helped? Why'd you gravitate to volleyball?
I liked the energy that it brought. You know, in playing with volleyball. Volleyball is different than soccer in the sense that it can change in a matter of seconds. And, you know, you make a mistake, you can fix it, and 5 minutes later you're helping your team win. That's kind of not the same when it comes to soccer.
Sure.
So that's one thing. And the energy that it brings as far as being with your teammates, you're in a closed space and you guys can work together. You know, you figure out who you can ride with and who you can't. And that also brings about that energy. So I think that's another big thing.
I mean, they're both team sports, right? But I think the way strategically you go about them is a little bit different, right? When you talk about maybe key substitutions or perhaps, you know, I need to sub this player for that player at that particular position because you notice maybe perhaps there's a little weak spot. I don't know. But, yeah, I think that sometimes can be the thing, too. How did you guys do? How did you ladies do in volleyball this year?
I think we did very well. We won our league. We went undefeated in league. We played and we went to CIF. We won our first round. We played Mater Dei. Unfortunately, we lost the second round, but we qualified for state. And ironically, we played Mater Dei again, and we lost. But I mean, although we lost, a loss doesn't define who you are. So I definitely think that we played to the best of our abilities, and we definitely left it all out on the court. And even when we played the second time, you know, it went much longer, and we took a set from them. But again, I will say that we did our best, and we left it all out there, and we made them work for their win.
Who's your rival for Long Beach?
Lakewood High School.
Is it?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Battles.
Unlike any other, yeah.
Than any other school? Really? In
that sense? We played against. Even when we played Mater Dei, it wasn't even compared to playing Lakewood. Yeah.
Now, I thought that was interesting, Allanah, is that you were telling me about, you know, sometimes some of the sports, they tend to have this thing of where, okay, you're ranked, but then you got to play these tournaments to get, or beat a team to get super ranked, and then you go on to another state to play at another ranked school, and then you get finally ranked in the nation, right? What's different about it for volleyball, though? We were talking a little bit about that, is how that works.
The difference for volleyball is that it's definitely more.
You have more opportunities.
Yeah, it's more opportunities, and you have more chances. You know, not saying that we all want to make mistakes, but mistakes are going to happen, and it's not like when you make a mistake you're done. You know, when you make a mistake, you definitely have the chance to bounce back. Sometimes the next day, the next week, and do something for your team and your school, and to carry that name and to put you guys in a better position for the future.
No, I think that's important too. For you, your record, did your record define your success as a team, do you think?
I would say yes, because we had very few losses. We went to tournaments, and the tournament we went to, we only lost one game, which was the finals. And then other than that, we only lost to Mater Dei. And we came in third at another tournament. So we only had, I want to say maybe 3 losses. I can't remember off the top of my head. And that goes to hold true to my point that I made earlier, that a loss doesn't define who you guys are. And we all left it out there every single time we played. And you're not going to win every game. So.
What did you learn about your team?
I learned that everybody's different, but we all wanted the same goal, and we all have the same drive, but it's all different.
I mean, because you look at a team, right? There's certain players that bring certain abilities and strengths to the team, right? What's one thing you noticed about the team that changed this year for you ladies?
Our 2 freshmen, we had 2 freshmen, and they were absolutely outstanding. They brought a different, they brought not a different energy, but they just brought more to the table, and
so they embraced the role to become the next person up.
Yeah, they were starting as freshmen, and in the beginning of the season, they were a little bit scared and terrified and
It's a little different varsity,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know?
But they definitely did their jobs, and I love them to death. I'm actually very close to both of them, and I know them, and I know that they were terrified, but by the end of the season, they were fine.
And now that you're leaving, you'll be graduating, at some point soon. You have all the confidence in the world that those two will be able to help out Long Beach. Probably keep that tradition going of winning at least. Right?
100%.
Yeah. Do you think that, school goes by so quick? I mean, if you think about from freshman year now to your senior year, do you have to literally pinch yourself? You got done with the tournament today, right? And this 3-game tournament that you did, won some games, and then you lost, I think, the last one. I think it was. But there were 3 games within that last one. 3 sets. 2 sets. Okay. Do you feel that Allanah Cutler has accomplished everything she could in high school in volleyball?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, me and my dad made a list last year, and we were able to cross them all off, and I did everything that I set myself out to do.
Is that something your dad does a lot? You guys set lists or goals or things like that?
Yes.
As far as expectations, or hey, did you feel like you accomplished what you needed to accomplish?
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Important?
Definitely.
Yeah. For you, you've committed to Army. Now, tell me what that was like. I mean, take yourself, it's your senior year, and you make the decision to do that. Take me through all that process. What was that process like to finally choose a college that you would be going to?
So they offered me my sophomore year, and then they stayed in contact with me for a year. And my mom was actually the one who, here we go again, being the mom and the amazing person she is, she told me, it's a great school, we need to go take a visit. Even if because at that point in my head, they weren't an option for me because I didn't want to serve, and I didn't, I don't have anybody from my family in the military, so I had no clue what that was about. So I was like, I don't want to be on the front line, and this.
Like, I'm going to play the Army, but I really don't want to be on that.
Yeah. So she was like, we're gonna go take a visit and just see. It's an amazing school. We took it. It was amazing. I fell in love with the campus. I fell in love with the coaches, more importantly, because they made me feel at home from the beginning of the visit. They were so welcoming and genuine and very transparent. And me and my mom were leaving, and she goes, so what do we think? And I said, it has my name written all over it. And she goes, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. Wow. So a few weeks later, I committed, because the biggest thing that my godsister I mentioned earlier, she told me was, make sure that you go somewhere where they want you just as much as you want them. And it was very clear that they wanted me just as much as I wanted them. And
it started sophomore year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they were watching you.
Right. So then, we get to where we are today, and I still am 100% happy with my decision. I am excited for my new journey. Was that
a little bit, because it makes it more real now that you've committed, and it's a commitment, right?
Right.
Was there a little bit of fear?
Oh, yeah. I was thinking, I'm signing 12 years of my life away, because after you serve for 4 years, or after you go to school for 4 years, you serve for 5 active, and then you're on 3 years of inactive duty. So I was like, I'm signing 12 years of my life away. But to think about where I'll be, because I can make the decision to go somewhere or somewhere else, but to think about where I'm going to be 12 years from now is definitely where I want to be in life.
Well, and I think there's some things that they talk a lot about with Army or Navy or some of those other places that a lot of people commit to. You get an experience like no other from a standpoint of travel or trade or something that you learn, and you have the skill that you can do something with it, right?
Yeah.
If volleyball, for whatever reason, possibly the Olympics, maybe something that
I'm not tall
okay, you're not doing that.
I wish I was.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
So, but at least you have an idea of what's in store for you from a standpoint of like, hey, I could learn something in the military to kind of help me out.
Right. Yeah, that's another big reason why I chose it. But
let's talk about I want you to recall a play you made that, a lot of times there's a spike in the game. You make a critical spike and you get a point for your team, or a dig,
Okay.
And I think you may be thinking about what I know you're thinking about.
Yeah.
There's a dig play, and you're shocked that I made it, I got there and saved it, and we got the point.
Right.
Take me through one of those experiences.
Okay. This past season, my high school season, we played our rival, Lakewood, at home, and it was a 5-set thriller.
Whoa.
Yeah. Every set went back and forth, back and forth. We were into the 5th set, and we were winning by 3. It might have been 12 to 9. And it was just one of those plays where so much was going on.
Right.
And in volleyball, everything happened so fast. So I remember they're outside hitting the ball, and my defensive specialist, she dug the ball, but it was an overpass, and I saw that my setter wasn't going to make the ball, and I saw that the girl was going to hit it. So I ended up going, somehow I made it to the ball, don't ask me how. I dove and I dug the ball, and I rolled and got up, and I closed my eyes because I thought I was about to get trucked because I thought that I got the ball up, and my setter was coming to set somebody else, and I thought I was going to get trucked. So I closed my eyes, and I opened my eyes, and the ball's on their side on the floor, and it's in. So we ended up actually getting that point. And just to feel that was absolutely amazing. That was probably, and I remember it like it just happened, and it was absolutely amazing.
You know, first of all, for it to happen during your rival.
Yeah.
And of all things,
yeah, that
right?
Makes it,
right?
Makes it even better.
Even better.
That makes it even better.
But you go into it going like, how did I get that ball? And then I felt I was going to get trucked. And then the ball, I open my eyes, and the ball's on the other side, and you get the point. That you can't script that any better.
And thank God we caught it on video. It was hilarious.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
I bet. No, that's true. What is something that you feel that you can help somebody accomplish? Say you look at one of your underclassmen, right, in volleyball. Mm-hmm. Is there something that you've given them a word of encouragement to help them kind of travel, not the same path you have, but to get through some of the stuff that you've had to deal with?
Yeah. Again, one of my freshmen. I've told her, just never be afraid to be who you are, because everybody's path is different, like we talked about. Yes. Everybody's path is different, and don't be afraid to make the decision that's best for you, because it's going to hurt somebody else. Always do what's best for you, and that's what I told her, because she was talking to me about college, because she's a very good athlete. She's 6'1", she's a freshman, and she's a setter. So, we had Florida come watch her, which is a very good volleyball school. Yeah, they came and watched one of our practices, flew out just to watch her, and she was so nervous, and she of course she doesn't know where she wants to go, but she was talking to me about that, and I just told her, do what's best for you. Don't be afraid to do what's best for you because you feel like you're going to hurt somebody else.
Right.
So.
Man, that's big. And I think that stands with them. They're able to, because ultimately the people that's being a student, being an athlete, we look up to them, and then you help them and guide them in some way. They're able to maybe get through something that maybe you had a difficulty with, right? With Long Beach Polytechnic High School. And she has discussed a lot about volleyball and really the commitment it has taken for you to really do the sport, and the commitment to be a student athlete in the classroom. Do you think that's important, to be both a good person and player off the field and or not off the field, but on the court or off the court?
Very, very important. I don't think that you can really succeed or go far without being a good person, because some people call it karma. I call it God. If you don't, if you're not a good person and your walk with Christ or your walk isn't right, God isn't going to bless you, and that's just it.
Well, this has been a big moment for Outside the Games, and I tell you, Allanah, it's been a pleasure to get to know you. We have stopped through Long Beach Poly and talked to some of the football players, but boy, we got to show some love to the student athletes that are female athletes at the school. So we thank you very much for being on our show. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, this has been Kevin with Outside the Games, but Allanah, we're not done. We have this thing called the Quick Blitz. I thought I'd tell you a little bit about it. We got to get to know you more personal. Okay. This is something. Favorite food?
Tacos.
Tacos?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have like hard shell or soft shell?
Hard shell.
Okay. Favorite dessert?
Cookies.
Certain kind?
Chocolate chip.
Wow. Okay. She likes those chocolate chips. They got to be warm right out of the oven, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They have to be warm and they have to be soft.
Exactly. No hard cookie for you.
No.
Apple or Android, and why?
Apple.
Yeah?
Just Android one.
Wait. Have you ever had an Android phone?
No, I don't need one. My brother had an Android and it was terrible.
I see. I got a question for you.
Okay.
Do female athletes like to play video games?
I don't. But I don't know.
Do you know? Is that it? I didn't know if that's
I feel like
I know the boy female student athletes love it.
They love their Fortnite and their 2K.
Yeah, right.
I feel like if I asked girls, I feel like they would say no because the people that I know don't play video games.
What do you do in your spare time?
What is spare time?
Wow, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. That's a very good
don't-
answer. You don't have a downtime.
No.
Yeah.
The 2 weeks I had over the summer, we were in Mexico. That was it.
All right. Favorite musical artist?
Ooh, okay. That's hard.
It is hard because there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, there's so many of them.
But if you had to, well, let's just say this: what would be in Alannah's car?
YG.
Okay, there you go. Favorite car to drive if you could drive one?
My Lincoln. I have a Lincoln.
You have a Lincoln.
Yeah.
Okay. What color?
Black.
Oh, of course. Why did I even try to I knew it would be black. It's like nice, you know?
Yeah, nice and clean.
Nice and clean. That's right. Favorite shoe to wear? I'm looking at them. Look at this.
My Air Force Ones.
Look at this. Yes, right here. Air Force Ones. Why do you like Air Force One? You told me you told me something that you love white shoes.
I have an obsession with white shoes. But
back up. How'd you get this obsession with white shoes?
My dad always had Air Force Ones growing up, and I would put his shoes on, and he's not a small guy. He's 6'8", and his shoes are big, so I would put on his size 15 shoes, and I always wanted a pair of my own. This is my second pair, actually.
What happened to the first pair?
I ran through them. I had them for a few years, and I tried to keep them white as long as possible, and my dad was like, no, we just got to get you new pairs.
Yeah, new pair.
So
yeah.
I had these, and then I got some white LeBrons in my room. I have some white Adidas and a pair of white Nike running shoes. White Jordans are on the way.
See, because I was going to get to that.
Yeah, my dad vetoed me for Christmas, but I'm just waiting.
Yeah, just waiting. Yeah. You gotta share with us when you do get them. We got to see.
Oh, I got you.
What white J's are. Let's take it to, because we ask a lot of times the men's student athletes what they wear in their sport. For volleyball, what's your favorite shoe to wear?
I like wearing LeBrons.
Really?
Yeah, because I know they're very heavy, but especially coming back from my injury, they had a lot of support, a lot of ankle support, and a lot of support on the bottom, so that when I would jump and land, it didn't feel like I was landing on concrete. It felt like I was landing on something that was very soft, kind of like gel or clouds almost.
If Alannah had to choose a favorite vacation spot, where would that vacation spot be?
It would be this island off the coast of Africa, and it's called Seychelles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You've obviously looked it up.
I have, yeah.
You've done some
so
research, right?
Got stuff like that all figured
Wikipedia,
out.
something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. No, that's good. Let's get serious on a couple things.
Uh-oh. Okay.
If you were running late somewhere and you had to let them know that you were running late, would you call or text, and why?
It depends on the person, because I know that some people don't, like my grandpa, we gave him an iPhone. He doesn't text. He does the phone calls.
You try to make it easy for him.
Yeah, it just depends on the person. Or if it's my coach, I'll shoot him a text because he's very chill and relaxed. It just depends on the person for me.
Mm-hmm.
I could go either way, but I will not be late. Unless I'm coming from another sport or something related for school or family, you will never catch me being late anywhere.
Now, you did say this. You said what time, and what time could I find downtime? I have no downtime.
Right.
But somehow there had to have been a movie. What was the last movie you saw in the theater?
What was the last movie? Aquaman. Me and my
Really?
best friend.
Oh, okay.
We went to go see it a couple weeks ago.
Recommend it?
Yeah, I liked it.
You liked it? Yeah. Okay. All right. Another serious note would be is if Alannah Cutler had to change one thing in the world, we see a lot of different things in the worldscape. I mean, the nation's in a government shutdown. The economy is up and down. There's a lot of things in the political scene and from that aspect. But if you could have an influence on one thing in the world, what would that one thing be, Allanah?
The Africans that are enslaved in Libya.
Yeah?
Yeah. And the fact that we still have people enslaved in 2019 is mind blown and sickening.
And being a history.
I was going to say, and being a history geek, and it's not something that needs to be addressed.
Right. No, I get that. We talk a lot about business, because there's a lot of corporations out there that, Apple, Amazon, and a lot of different stuff. Say if somebody said, Allanah, I'm going to give you $50,000 to start your own business. What business would you start?
I honestly don't know. What business would I start?
What passion do you have that you would probably want to develop and make into maybe a business of some sort?
It would probably be something towards the effect of helping African Americans. I can't pinpoint one thing because there's a lot of things.
There's a big need.
Yeah, there's a big need and a lot of things that we need help with.
Right.
But it would definitely go towards something for that. And of course, you got to love your people. So.
Yeah, very true. One last question.
Okay.
So you're going to be a senior, so I know you'll get this one right. And we're going to relate it to shoes. Okay. All right. Of course. What would you rather experience? Okay. Your shoe being, okay, it did rain not too long ago.
4 days.
You have your Air Force Ones on and you step in a muddy puddle. What would you rather experience? Something like that and step in a muddy puddle with your Air Force Ones? Or would you rather experience being on Outside the Games?
Being on Outside the Games.
Well, hey, that's right. That's what's up. Okay.
That's it.
Hey, I tell you, this has been Allanah Cutler. She is quite not only the person, but also a player on and off the court. And I tell you, this being the first female student athlete on the show and Outside the Games, it's been such a pleasure to get to know you and your family, very much so. So we again, thank you for watching. Hashtag Student Athlete Strong. To a lot of the student athletes there, they're grinding, they're working hard, and this is an example you heard tonight as far as somebody that's put in the work and has seen blessings from it, but then also too has helped others in the sport and in the classroom as well. So again, we thank you for being on our show. It was a pleasure.
Oh, thank you.
This is Kevin Min with Outside the Games, Allanah Cutler right here, and we thank you for watching. Have a good night.